Welcome to the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 7 minutes. My name is Jeremy Poock and I lead Senior Attorney Match. And today's In 7 Minutes is a part one of two series on the top four trends that we foresee for law firm sales in 2024. We'll have three parts to today's In 7 Minutes. We'll discuss trend number one and trend number two that we foresee, as well as a 2024 prediction. So let's jump right into it. So for trend number one that we foresee in 2024 is really the continuation of law firm sales 1.0. In law firm sales 1.0, what senior attorneys are selling, that is attorneys that have practiced for more than 30 years, what they are selling is really the goodwill, the book of business that they have developed over the course of their careers. The primary components of that sale consist of the client list and referral source list, that is the book of business, plus additional value components, the goodwill that they've developed, subject matter knowledge in multiple practice areas, and more digital value. The key feature of Law Firm Sales 1.0 is that the payment terms are based upon earnout terms as compared to significant consideration paid at a closing table, because the buyers are typically more prepared to pay earnout terms because of that personal goodwill nature of the book of business that senior attorneys are selling. And just to look at the synergy value, like why is it that growing law firms want and need what senior attorneys have? Senior attorneys and senior attorney-led firms, they bring to growing law firms four components of what we call synergy value. It's the instant client growth that the book of business of a senior attorney provides, the combined workforce, the lawyers and support staff at a senior attorney's law firm, the cumulative expertise that the attorneys at a senior attorney-led firm plus their support staff bring and offer to growing law firms, and more the marketing value as growing law firms need digital content in today's 3.0 digital era in the legal industry. Senior attorneys and the lawyers at their firms present literally tons of digital content that growing law firms want and need. As we are now in the mid-2020s, just as a warning, there's really two warnings for senior attorneys to consider as they're considering selling their law firms. That first warning sign is what we call false expectations surrounding what you really would love, and what most of our clients would love nothing more than to do is to transition and sell their law practices to their internal successors. We offer this as a warning to senior attorneys considering selling their law practices in the mid-2020s, because by and large, your internal successor, for four reasons, they really don't want to purchase your law firm. And those four reasons are that you hired these people as key employees and they really want to stay as key employees. Next is they went to law school and not business school. The next is they really can't afford to purchase your law practice when they have so many other expenses happening in their lives, not least of which being their mortgages, their car payments, preparing to send kids to college or private schools if they send their kids to private schools, and saving for their own retirements, and many other reasons why they just can't afford to purchase your law firm. And then they also assume that you're going to practice forever. Well, you're not going to practice forever. And a warning here is that your key employee who you would really love to take over your practice could hit you with what we call a random Tuesday and walk down the hall one day to your office and literally give you 2 or 4 weeks because they decided to take another job. Second warning for senior attorneys, and here we really are waving what we'll call an orange flag here, a warning sign, is that all-important book of business. In the 3.0 digital era, while senior attorneys by and large are not keeping pace with digital marketing for new clients, we're finding that senior attorneys are not replenishing their books of business as much as they did in yesteryear. In addition, if you lose key employees, whether those are lawyers or parastaff, you're not going to be as valuable when you are selling your practice in a law firm sales 1.0 type of sale, because buyers, they want and need your clients. They also want and need your lawyer and support staff. So if your book of business is not replenishing as much as yesteryear. And if you foresee potentially not holding on to key employees, then your practice may not be as valuable from a synergy value standpoint later in the 2020s. In terms of the second trend that we see in the mid 2020s is that law firm sales 2.0, it's here and it's only going to continue to grow. And a significant aspect, a huge differentiator between law firm sales 1.0 and law firm sales 2.0 is the introduction of fixed pricing. That is, we're not just selling in law firm sales 2.0 the goodwill of a senior attorney's practice. What is also for sale is the digital value and the brand awareness that law firms continue to develop. So let's just go under the hood on that. That is that since 2020, and for many firms even before 2020, law firms have begun building real brand value. That is not just being associated with lawyers at the firm, the rainmakers at the firm, that clients retain the lawyers at a firm. What we're seeing more is that clients are retaining law firms because of their brand equity, which has really four feeders to what brand equity is comprised of. The first is a digital presence, right? Where are they on Google? We're finding many firms are fighting for that number one spot on Google. They're paying for it and they are earning it. Brand awareness. That is, they're not just on Google. They are in multi-channels. They are on LinkedIn. They're on Instagram. They're on X, which used to be Twitter. They're introducing themselves on TikTok. Some firms are on TV, radio. They have a brand and they are generating awareness on that brand from a multi-channel digital marketing standpoint. Trade names are here. We're seeing law firms reduce to one singular surname, and we're also seeing law firms develop totally different trade names that aren't even based on a surname. People remember them, they know them, they're getting familiar with that trade name, and then associated with the trade name and the digital presence and brand awareness is quality perception. We all depend on and look for Google reviews. And what we're seeing more and more is that more and more law firms, they are posting hundreds, even thousands of Google reviews. That is creating law firm brand equity. And just to look at that in a different perspective, what we're seeing with law firms across the board is that multi-channel digital marketing, just to look at how multi-channel digital marketing is playing out in the marketplace, is that we have multiple areas in the 3.0 digital era. We have multiple sources for how law firms today are marketing. We're often saying that Google has become America's greatest referral source for lawyers. That is Uncle Google, but it's not just Google. It is Instagram, it is podcasts, it is YouTube videos, it's Facebook groups, it's Twitter posts, it's sending out e-newsletters. So many different ways that law firms today are developing their brand value, brand awareness, and very importantly, brand equity. And when law firms have the data analytics to support that brand equity, they are going to be receiving fixed prices at closings that not only will buyers be prepared to pay, but banks will be lending on. And we're going to see this more and more throughout the mid 2020s. And now for today's prediction. Our prediction for 2024 and really the mid-2020s on a focus of personal injury law is that we're going to see the arrival of mid-market personal injury law firm sales. So what do we mean by that? What we're seeing with personal injury law firms is that well before 2020, and certainly because of the 2020 pivot of where clients are now looking online for their lawyers, is that personal injury law firms nationwide, so you have state-based firms, regional, and even national PI firms are investing significantly and receiving return on investment on their multi-channel digital marketing that first and foremost is getting on the first page of Google, but also being multi-present on Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even TikTok, and I shouldn't say even TikTok, it is a very popular site, as we know, not just among teenagers anymore. And by developing their presence, multi-channel digital marketing wise, and collecting the data on how clients are coming into their firms, and plus their older version word of mouth that clients are still coming in from a word of mouth standpoint, what we're finding is that PI firms in particular are developing brand equity. And that brand equity that they're developing is being fed from four different directions: that digital presence, their brand awareness. Often they're investing in creating trade names, and they have quality perception because of all types of reviews. First and foremost, Google reviews, but also video reviews, audio reviews, so that clients now are associating certain personal injury law firms because of their brand equity. And from the standpoint of a law firm sales 2.0 perspective, where there is fixed pricing in law firm sales 2.0 based upon digital value and brand awareness. If you are a personal injury law firm, and if you have developed significant digital value and brand awareness, our prediction is that we are going to see significant 8-figure and maybe even 9-figure sales, let alone 7-figure sales on personal injury law firms, because buyers are going to be very interested in that brand equity that these types of firms continue to develop, and banks will lend on them as well as the introduction, interestingly, in the mid 2020s, of the introduction and growth of alternative business structures. And that is the state of the market for law firm sales in today, much more than 7 minutes.